Thanks for watching the RipCurlPro BellsBeach, the second stop of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. John Florence from Hawaii takes on Jeremy Flores representing France. Well, Jeremy looks like he wants to get things going against John. Flores just trying to build some momentum for a first turn. He'll set the rail. A nice drawn-out roundhouse cutback. Puts him back in the pocket for a little foam climb. A little foam climb snap once again. He's out in front. He digs in. Full forehand carve, and now Flores off the top. Clean rail work once again, and he's out.
Yeah, just a nice clean wave there just to kick things off for Flores. I think everyone's on fire right now.
We'll take another look at the start from Flores. He sat deeper than John and had to work his way to this drawn-out roundhouse. How'd you like that first move?
Yeah, beautiful. I like the way he held his rail through that there. Kind of got a little stuck on that one. Up and over the white water. See how it's got that nice clean face? That's what you want to try and find here at Rincon. Beautiful gouging cutback, a nice little snap right there in the pocket. Beautiful rotation. Getting those, opening those shoulders. As I always say, you've got to open those shoulders to get that body around. You know, in saying that, John's still young. He's got plenty of time left on the tour. I'm sure we'll see him back in there again.
Here comes Jeremy Flores on his second effort. First wave, 4.67. He draws out highline wrap to start. Essing to some speed and some momentum. Little tap on the rebound of the roundhouse. Now he'll just flow through the whitewater, building some speed. He has an oncoming section, but it really went off speed, so he's out.
I like the flow that he's got going. That board looks like it's got a nice drive on it. It's sitting on top of the water. It looks free. You know, it doesn't look like it's pushing too much water. It's a nice little board under his feet right now. John, having a look at this one, needs to get on the board here soon. And opens his account, Joe.
First wave for John Florence as he has a lot of momentum. Highline wrap for the Hawaiian. Always casual in between decisions. He'll rip one off the lip. Just keeping that board active in front of Flores. And now he'll just fade one real quick. Wants this thing to ramp up, and it's staying a little slow. Now just quietly building the board speed. Florence has his section. Frontside float, and he digs the rail and goes down.
Yeah, looked like he was in two minds there, Joe. It's almost like when he was kicking back on the tail there, waiting for the wave to pick him up, he was trying to decide, what am I going to do? And that's a scary thing when you've got someone like John who's got a bag of tricks as deep as anyone. Sometimes you can get caught in between turns. Nice opening maneuver here for John. Check this turn out right there. We saw a lot of that at Lowe's, didn't we, Joe? Those big gaffing frontside maneuvers. Shows some variety there by throwing the tail out of the back of the wave. And then it kind of goes a little slow right now. And this is where you've got to keep that board moving. Keep those turns going. Keep that flow. And right here you can see him waiting for it, waiting for something to happen. What am I going to do? And then I think he kind of got caught in between two turns there. Maybe he wanted to do a bit of a float turn and then maybe a slash and got caught in between two. And even this board he's got now, even though he's got low scores on the board, it's not the surfing, it's just the waves. I mean, that board is flowing well. It's picking up speed when he needs it to. Doesn't look like there's any drag right there, so his equipment looks spot on.
Well, we see the boys out the back being very selective on a bigger set. Where they're sitting, it's not really setting themselves up with scoring potential. It's kind of fading down the line towards the bowl. Florence opens with a 4.6. Jeremy had a 4.67 start. Another close battle with these two regular foots. As priority is still with Jeremy, it feels like Toledo has picked that confidence up by seeing one of his fellow Brazilians and guy in the same generation win a world title. He got the confidence before his first event win. Now he has that, and he's still carrying that bravado when he comes to compete. He's so lethal and dangerous in all kinds of conditions.
You know, Filippo's looking at Gabriel saying, hang on a sec, I can do that. You know, I can do airs like him. I can pull into barrels, you know, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to, you know, maybe it does take something like that to happen for you to click, you know. And obviously Medina winning the world title has kind of opened the floodgates for the Brazilians to do well.
KP was actually in that final with Jeremy. Jeremy ended up taking that one out with Kieran making a priority mistake way back when. As we see sets pouring through now, 6:30 to go. After a lot of silence, Florence is looking for just a 3.25. He takes off on a closeout and goes down, Potts.
He's triumphed over Kelly more times than Kelly has got him, so you know, Kelly's in good form at the moment. Here goes John.
John chasing, just a 3.25. He'll go to the inside. Fin throw, he'll recover. He wants to get a little more out of this wave. Stabs it in the pocket, jams it real quick, trying to force the score since the ocean's not hooking him up out the back. Frontside wrap, driving through this inside point, and still staying on his feet. He could have one section that can help him out. Lay back blowtail, and he looks to recover. An exciting showcase of small wave surfing, adapting to the changing lineup. Was that enough for you to turn this heat?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, how good is this kid? I mean, he's attacking 15-foot chopu like it's, you know, no one's business, and then the ability to then transform that radical surfing into these small, mushy little waves here at Rincon. The kid's just the full package, Joe. I'm completely impressed and a huge John fan. I mean, every single trick in the book. He's got the air game. He's good in the barrel. He charges in big waves. And that's the kind of pro surfer you've got to be these days to be successful.
Well, we remember back to France when he started showing that he was going to dominate that event. It was a challenging round where he was the only one putting multiple nines on the board. Now a small wave game on the replay here.
Blows the tail out on that opening turn there. This wave, very tricky to ride and really did not cooperate. But John jammed that turn there. You can see him putting that foot down right there again, just putting that foot down and throwing a lot of spray. He's keeping the board moving back and forth. He sees that little inside section and knows he needs to nail it if he wants to post a good score. Right there, blasting that tail out, laying back. Takes a lot of core strength to bring that board back under your feet.
Now here comes Jeremy Flores on the answer. Nice bowly section to work with up from Rincon. Off the bottom, quick snap again, and Flores will wrap it. Just his third wave ridden. So he sets it up for a little knifing snap. Nice flow and form through the float. And now he's on his way to a finish. It's starting to ramp up. Flores will go for a frontside hack right on the sand and sneak one more blast in before he hits the beach.
Definitely one of Jeremy's better waves. I think that's going to be his best wave yet. 4.67 is his highest score. He nailed that wave. You talk about that board, how free it looks, how fast it looks. It's got a lot of zap, and I'll tell you what, it's flowing through these flat sections like no one's business. I think this is probably the best I've seen Jeremy surf in quite some time. He looks like he's got a lot of energy, he looks excited, and it looks like he's got a great board under his feet. Look at it. You see how fast it is on top of the water. Nice quick turns there, just keeping it back and forth as it picks up speed there, really easy through that flat section, and then jams it. Throwing the fins out again, and another beautiful turn from Jeremy Flores. It's all about momentum down the line, and that's what he's doing. You can see him using his own physical strength to generate his speed and power. Rincon doesn't give you a lot of energy, so you've got to take it yourself, and here he goes through this inside bowl. Length of ride here for Jeremy. Finishes off with a couple of great turns, and that's the best scoring wave of the heat so far.
Heat has been really haunting them with wave selection.
Yep, and there's a little wave approaching now. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. John's going to take it. Can he get the lead back?
This is a comeback wave for John Florence. He needs a 5.58 to stay in this contest. Hits it off the lip. Now out in front, little set up wrap. It's stretching out in front of him. He has to go for the fin throw reverse, relying on that air game to create a big moment. That wave didn't take him all the way to the beach spots. So is that fair enough to go for a big maneuver on that midsection?
Absolutely. I mean, he was committed to that wave, so he had to make sure he did something special. A 5.58, so that's going to have to be his best wave. Is that his best wave of the heat, Joe? I mean, is it comparable to his 5.43 that he just scored on that one before? A big layback snap at the end. A little bit more innovation on this one. A couple of beautiful turns and then finished off with an air reverse. Is it going to be enough? 5.58 required from John with 25 seconds to go, and it looks like maybe just Jeremy might get this last wave here.
Pressure situation now with 15 seconds, not for the competitors but for the panel to separate these two, putting a brilliant act together in small wave surfing here in challenging Rincon conditions. We've run out of time in round 3, heat number 12, and John tries to spin around right before the horn.
Yeah, that won't count.
He'll ride this one in and just wait for the outcome from the panel. Let's take another look at this decider.
All right, first turn there, nothing too radical. Second turn, jams it up through the lip. third turn, just slashes back, waiting for it to build up. He needs something special, and right there, just pops the tail out. So that's going to have to be, is that his best wave? Is that better than the last one, the 5.43? That's what the judges will be looking at. To me, I still think that wave from Jeremy, the 6.33, is still the best wave of the heat. But John only needs a 5.58, so it doesn't need to go into the 6-point range. The mid-5 will get it, so it is in the judges' hands. This is a huge score right here that is just about to be locked in.
We can see the rail work from Flores on the replay. John already exiting the lineup. He still doesn't know if he's going to still be in this event. Can Jeremy eliminate John for the second time at Bells Beach?
Okay, the comparison right here. John, maybe a little bit more dramatic with his turns. Stabbing that board in and then flips the tail out. Wasn't a huge amount of air underneath that board, Joe, but the tail did get up and above the lip, so it's apples and oranges. I mean, it's what do you like? What looks good to you? The first judge says no, second and third say no. So there you go, 5.33, not enough. Jeremy Flores, upset.
John Florence just getting the message, and Flores is fired up. He's had to work hard the last 2 seasons, taking on a lot of the QS events just to work out his boards. Remember that year he really couldn't find a magic weapon. He even took a board off Kelly to get his rhythm back.
I offered him some of mine too. If he wanted. But you know, and that's the thing, right? The surfboard is the most important part of our sport, really. You need a good board to win.
Exciting times now in pro surfing, especially for Jeremy Flores as he's off into round 4. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. Remember, at 4 o'clock, we'll start round 4 action here at Bells Beach.